Hey guys, Augiesaint and welcome to the channel. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I want to share with you guys the updated routes for the energy activators as well as the crystallization catalyst, where to get all the materials as well as the blueprints, because I'm always down bad on these. I cannot keep up with supply on these. I'm pretty much always crafting these, as you should be too. Remember, ABCs, always be crafting. It takes 7 hours for a catalyst and 30 hours for a energy activator. And if you guys are trying to min-max the new Lunar and Volby and the weapon and all the stuff that you are trying to min-max on your account, you need to always be crafting these. Now we have updated the Bible with all the best routes. I'm going to have this down below in the description for you guys. The Bible, you guys know about this if you've watched any of my videos. We update this thing constantly with all kinds of different stuff and useful information on it, so check it out. It will be in the description, and it'll also be pretty much in the description of every single video of mine. A lot of people have been coming to my Discord and comments and asking. It's always in the description, so check the description and the link will be there. So without further ado, let's hop straight into it. Let's take a look at energy activators, and the first material I need for these is the low carbon activators. And the best place to farm these is in the Kingston area. The Fallen Theater you spawn in right there, and you want to do this outpost on hard mode. And don't forget to set your world to private if you're going to be doing this on Sharon, which I do recommend doing it on Sharon, because when you do it on Sharon, you do have the chance at getting that extra amorphous material, which is usually a different one on hard mode that has a bunch of good stuff in it, as well as some of them have energy activators and kata blueprints in them too. So I'll just be helping you overall, and it doesn't really take much more time to do it on Sharon. You basically just have to stealth, activate all 3 towers, and then kill the boss, instead of just running in there, killing all 3 towers, and then killing the boss. So the time should be pretty much the same. And the ambush buff that you get from Sharon while you're in your invisibility, or coming just out of your invisibility to kill the boss, does boost your damage significantly. So you can pretty much just go invisible, hit all 3 towers, and then kill the boss like really fast if you have any decent built up weapon or thunder cage. Anything, doesn't have to be crazy. Or you could even just one-tap snipe him if you have the Afterglow or any other sniper rifle in your arsenal. And we also tried to jump between the zones to try and reset the outpost like we could do in the past. That doesn't seem to work anymore. They did mention it in the patch notes that the timer is working correctly now, something like that. So when you jump between zones, it's pretty much going to always restart the timer. So the best thing to do is just stay in the zone at the outpost. You want to clear it out, and then you got to wait a minute for it to refresh, and you can clear it out again. And now the next material we need is the conductive metallic foil. So you want to come to the Vespers area. You can go to any of these zones, but we prefer to come to the Timberfall. If you do this on an Enzo, it's a lot easier as well. You do not need Enzo, but he does make the little mini game of actually hacking the vault a lot easier. So do get yourself an Enzo, or if you have one, great, to use it for these. And then there's usually a vault around there, or there's a vault around there. And then there's also one in the back of the waterfall sometimes, as well as in front of the waterfall area. But you can find this all in game. Just hit your scanner, and then when you hear the beeping, go for it. We do have another video covering how to do vaults completely, like a full step-by-step and walking you guys through it all. So if you're not sure how to do vaults, go check that video out. I'll leave it down below in the description. But that's the fastest way to obtain the conductive metal foils. You can get them as random drops from random enemies as well throughout the game. But this, if you're just trying to quickly get some, this is by far the fastest method to obtain them. And then the next thing you need is the heat plasma batteries. The best place to farm these will be in the infiltration operations in Hagios, the old mystery on hard mode. So you come to the old mystery and you start the private operation, as you're not going to be finishing things out, so it doesn't matter which multipliers you take. As you can see in the background, you're just going to run pretty much to the first room. We have to activate the device, and it's going to spawn the Kuiper ores around the room. And then you want to sit in that room and just kill enemies without completing the objective. You can collect the mine spots. I have found that going up to about 3 or 4 out of the 6 Kuiper ore spots does make the enemies spawn a little bit fast. But the most important thing is to just keep killing the enemies, and they will start spawning elites. And then after 5 elites, so you kill 5 elites and they each have a chance to drop the batteries, then you can go ahead and then cancel out the mission, restart, and do it again. Because after the 5th elite, we did sit there. We usually kill the 5th elite at around about a minute left, and then there just doesn't spawn any more elites within that time. So you can try and wait. Maybe you kill it faster, maybe not. But we have found the fastest way after 5 elites, just reset and go again. And this usually nets me about 45 batteries per run on average. So come here and do this. It's really easy, and you can just restart it and do it over and over and over again. And then the next thing you need is the Polyatomic Ion Particles. Quite a mouthful. The best place to farm these is on the fortress map in the Frozen Valley area. Spawn right in there, and you want to do this command relay mission. You just go there and you run through it, and then after you kill the first elite, then you go ahead and abort the mission and restart it. So don't forget to leave your lobby on private. Obviously, if it is on public, people come in sometimes and then they won't abort the mission, so the mission won't restart instantly, or just mess up your farming route unless you want to actually complete the mission. If you do the whole mission, it does take you about 1.5 to 2 minutes to complete. and it does have 3 elites that spawn in it, so obviously you have 3 chances at getting the material. But if you reset after the first elite, I can usually kill the first elite within about 25 seconds, and you restart and you can get back to him again. So every 25 seconds you have a chance at getting it, plus minus. I like to do that instead of doing the whole mission through. But if you don't like the abort mission, restarting mission tech, you can just sit through the whole thing, and then you have the 3 chances. It's roughly about the same, although restarting it is a little bit faster if you don't mind the annoying restart tech. And then last but definitely not least, we need the blueprint, and this is by far the hardest thing to obtain in the game on a farming level, but luckily you don't need as many of the energy activators as you do catalysts. So let's have a look at where we find these. The best strat we have found to actually farm these is by doing the shelter mission in the Vespers, the infiltration, as in the amorphous material up top here. This is the same place we're going to use for our crystallization catalyst blueprints, but then if you go ahead and change it, you can also get the energy activator blueprints. And the best thing about both of these amorphous materials is you open them on the Devourer. Now, if anybody has a half decent built bunny or just any other Descendant with a good gun, you should be able to kill the Devourer anywhere from 10 seconds to like 30 seconds to a minute. Definitely shouldn't take you more than a minute, even if your characters are not super built up yet. But if you have built up characters and stuff, Devourer is like the most bullied boss. We always go there and we always bully him, and we always farm these materials. It is the fastest way we have found if we're just quickly trying to get ourselves an energy activator blueprint or a catalyst blueprint. And also, if you have a look at our Bible, the hard mode infiltration cheat sheet, we do have the shelter marked with a yellow because this is our favorite dungeon to do, obviously for reasons of obtaining these energy activator and catalyst blueprints. We do have everything marked there that you need to know to get the guaranteed double drop. So you need to put it on at least a 220 multiplier, and you make sure that you do have a grappling hook. So you cannot have no grappling hook on the multipliers. Otherwise, you won't be able to actually finish the dungeon. And as you can see, this can be done in 4 minutes and 41. Or if you're crazy like me on Bunny, I've added a new tab here, my personal best. The fastest I've managed to get this is down to a 3:23. So every 3.5 minutes, I'm running this on my Bunny. It's extremely fast though, and I've like run this so many times. I basically just perfected the route. So I'm going to try and bring this down to a 3 minutes. Maybe we even have the world record. Let me know what your guys' fastest time is on this dungeon. It'll be fun to compare with you guys. Chuck down in the comments what is the fastest you guys have managed to clear shelter, if anybody has beaten my 3:23. I'm sure there's crazy guys out there that have done it, like the speedrunners and everybody. So shout out to you guys and go pump through the shelter. Let's see those numbers. But that's it for energy activators. So now let's turn our attention to the crystallization catalysts. First up, we have the Murky energy residue. Now for this, we have 2 spots in the sterile land infiltrations, the unknown lavatory on hard mode, or you can do the Forgottenness on normal mode. But I do recommend running this one on normal, the Forgotten Tense or Forgottenness, whatever you guys want to call it. Running this one on normal, our average time has been about 1 minute and 7 seconds with the elite that actually has the drop. Or if you run the other one on hard mode, our fastest time so far was 1 minute and 30 to get the elite that spawns it. So over time, if you're farming a lot of these, that's going to start adding up, as well as the normal mode being a lot easier if you don't have a bunny that's like super clearing like my bunny does. Then the normal mode will definitely be much faster for you, but the hard mode is not much different. So if you want to go for the hard mode, I believe the drop may be a little bit increased, but every time I've run it on normal and hard, the drop seems to be like between the same average of about 8 to about 15 drops at once. So I think it's completely random, and I think inside the infiltration missions, maybe hard and normal doesn't affect it. So I'm not sure about that. To confirm that, let me know if you guys know the answer. But I always run these on normal, and I have a ton of these catalysts and materials farmed up. And then the next thing we need is this Macromolecule Biogel. And this we find in the Echo Swamp on the outpost. You can either do this outpost or that outpost. We usually just come and sit in this outpost. Remember, do these on Sharon, set your auto hard and private so that nobody interferes with it. And you can try the jumping between tech or even going through the portals over there to like get through to the different zones to see if it resets. But all the testing I have done after the update, they just keep going back to the 1 minute timer reset. So when you jump to the zone or you load into the other zone, it just automatically goes back to 1 minute. Maybe I just got unlucky. So if you guys want to try, you can go ahead and try. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys actually get this to reset or not. But I personally just sit there the minute, just talk to chat. So you guys should totally join these Twitch streams over at twitch.tv/Augiesaint. Come keep me company while we're farming all these materials. Or come join us and farm the materials with us. So then it's less tedious for everybody. So moving on to the next piece, the mixed energy residue. Now this is yet again from vaults in the Agna Desert. We prefer to do the Vermilion Waste, but you can again go to any of these zones. The Vermilion Waste, if you spawn in, has one right there. There's like a little hole in the ground that you can jump in. Then you go and pick it up. There's one that can spawn right over there on a little cliff, on that cliff, or on that cliff over there. is all the different spawn spots. And then in the remnant as well, you can run, I believe there's one in the back here somewhere and one over there and maybe one over there. But you can just run on your Enzo and then hit the ping and you'll hear the sounds and just jumping between the zones. Now these do actually reset and they have been updated to always guarantee one to spawn in the zone when you jump between zones. Because before in the past when you jump between zones, sometimes they respawn, sometimes they didn't. It's like on a timer, internal timer or something weird. But now it is guaranteed. Well, they said so in the patch notes and I have found it to be true for the most part. Every time I jump between the zones, they do respawn. Maybe not at the same spot, but there is definitely one somewhere at one of these spots. So I just usually jump between the zones until the one spawns in the cave over there or up on the rock, as it's really easy and quick to find these. And then the next thing we'll need is the advanced neural circuits. And our preferred spot is in the White Knight Gulch. If you come over to the mountain drops and you spawn in at the bottom over here, and you do this borderline of truth mission. It is a barrier deactivation. As you can see in the background, you just go there, you run through it. It does spawn 3 elites and they spawn relatively fast between the different elites. So you can just finish the whole run out to get the 3 chances. Or again, you can do the same thing as the other material where you reset after the first elite and then just come and pick it up and go again. But since the restart thing is actually so close, we just like to run through the whole mission completely. And then we go and we jump down to the restart thing to avoid that little loading screen you get when you hit the restart mission. And that's, we just run that super fast. And if you have a friend, you can pretty much just sit at the restart mission thing. He can restart and you can just keep running and murdering stuff. And that's the fastest way we have found to farm these. There is also another little spot. If you come back to White Knight Gulch, in the top right corner, the shipment base, the fortress outskirts. Now this is mainly used to go farm the bunny reactor for this week, as the bunny reactor is dropping from there as well. But that obviously rotates, so when this video ages, then this won't be the perfect spot to go farm on bunny. But if you are farming your bunny reactor, you want to go do that mission this week, get your bunny reactor, and it's probably going to rotate back eventually one other week. And that's also a pretty decent spot to farm these things as well. But I would say overall, this is just faster and more efficient to do. But like I said, if you are doing the bunny one, you might as well double dip and get yourself some of those, as well as a chance at a good bunny reactor. And then last but not least, we have the elephant in the room, the Catalyst BPs. Go farm the shelter thing, try and beat my 3 minutes and 23 seconds down below in the comments. I'd love to see you guys with your times and stuff. Try and beat it and just run that really fast. Go beat up Devourer and then you'll get your BPs from that. It's a 20% chance and the energy activators are a 6% chance. Just make sure to change around the amorphuses. So on the notes here, you can see we usually get about 1 or more per 15 Devourer kills of the energy activator, and the crystallizations, we usually get about 3 or more on our Devourer kills within 15 kills. But what we like to do is we go run the shelter 10 times and we get the double drop. So then we have 20 amorphuses to open and we just go run Devourer 20 times and then we just take our BPs, whatever we can get from that. Now I did put on the right here as a little side note, if you guys do not actually want to do this one, or if you can't run it fast and effective, you want to go do something else, you can yet again go get these different amorphuses. As you can see, both there are in the Kingston Fallen Theater outposts. That one over there unfortunately is only from Sharon, and then you can go and open them at the fusion reactors. Again, the Kingston Grand Square. So both of all of this is done within Kingston Outpost. You farm the amorphous materials and then you go and open them at the fusion reactors. They have the same 20% drop chance for the catalyst and 6% for the energy activators. So if you prefer doing the outpost instead of farming the dungeons and then farming Devourer, that is another option. The only unfortunate thing about that is you actually need to get the void shards from the different fusion reactors to actually open it. So you have to do that. It's your choice. Do you want to go to fusion reactors and open them, or do you want to go farm Devourer and the shelter dungeon and open them on him? Quite easily, I prefer doing the dungeon, but I'm just leaving that as an option for you guys if you do not like it. And then another closing thought I have for you guys is to just go open your amorphous materials. 9 times out of 10, there's pretty much always an energy activator or a catalyst blueprint in all of them. And then the legendary ones is pretty much always a 6% on the energy activator and a 20%, if we can find it there, 20% on the crystallization catalysts. But the normal versions are usually 15% for the catalyst. And then if we can find one with an energy activator, 3% on the energy activators. I have run these and tested these and I just don't like doing the normal ones. I would much rather go with my 6% chances and my 20% chances. So go ahead and just open up all your amorphous materials, check what they are. I'm sure you guys have a stockpile now just from playing the game. So just go and open them up before you start spot farming catalyst BPs by doing Devourer in the shelter. But once you do get to where I am, I'm just going to speed run the Devourer over and over to just quickly stock up on my blueprints and stuff. But as you guys can see, I am pretty sorted on blueprints right now. We have 10 catalyst BPs. And then our energy activators, we have 5 there. So this is going to take us like a lot of hours to craft. It's 30 hours per one. And then these also has 7 hours per one, and I'm usually just gaining them by playing every day. So I'm too far ahead now with my BPs. I actually need more time to just craft these ores and catch up. But that's going to be it for the video. I hope it helped you guys out, and if you liked it, please drop a like and a sub to the channel. It helps me out so much, and I'll catch you beautiful people in the streams as well as the next video. Augiesaint out.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the